Welcome back to Spotlight Entertainment Network, guys. I am your host, millionaire trader Alex Jenkins, and we're back with another one, man. We got a guy named MTR over on YouTube, Mediocre Tutorials Reviews. He went on a tangent, and I want you guys to listen in to what this man has to say, and tell me what you guys think about what he has to say. But we finna let this thing go. Let's go.
Same thing that I know that happens to you guys so often when you're trying to have these logic-driven based conversation with the modern woman today who has been lied to throughout her life. And she's been conditioned to believe all of this bullshit up to and including having a low level of hate for most men out there, and as well as a low level hate for men talking about men improving themselves through information. Because again, they'll lose their power. And honestly, the reason why I was saying that is because I was trying to draw parallels as to reason why male podcasts exist versus the reason that we're having this particular conversation, and you are emotionally or irrationally reacting to the normal ass words that I'm saying within it. So when you're raised and being lied to or pandered to, when a man has an opposite angle or an opposite point, then you have a problem with it. Thus, men can't be truthful to women, especially as butt is the goal. Just as I said earlier, watch you say you agree with some shit that Kevin Samuel says and see how fast that date is going to end. Nevertheless, her response to me off of something which is not an egregious statement, not a ridiculous statement. I would say that statement is based in rationale. And at this point, in conjunction within the argument, I would expect some logic back. But expecting logic and rationale and well thought out response from the modern woman today seems to be a little too much worth asking for. What I received in response was sign language beyond any degree of sign language that I think that a married woman should hurl across another man that is friends with the person that she is married to. The comments begin to range in things such as, I don't even understand how any woman will be attracted to you ever. And I said, well, listen, madame, actually, I can't shake women off with a stick. Her response to that is, oh, they must be young women, thereby denoting within her feelings that young women must be dumb, and therefore those are the only ones that are attracted to you, which I find so honestly interesting because I thought you was all for women's empowerment, but young women are dumb now, apparently. She also began to hurl the modern woman's lexicon of bad words at me, such as, you are narcissistic for having a platform where you give your opinion regarding things. Who are you? Said the married modern woman. Who are you to pass judgment? Who are you to criticize? Who are you to give feedback on? Why does your opinion matter? And at this point of the conversation, I looked at my buddy who was sitting there watching the entire conversation, and I looked at him while he looked away. And I'm thinking to myself, well, goddamn, when did this happen? I thought you was my boy. But at the same time, I said to myself, he has to do that. What I say at the beginning of this, it sucks watching a man lose his leverage because he knows, and I know, that conversations like this can be the catalyst of the beginning of the end. And what does the beginning of the end mean for men? Well, it means being the breadwinner, getting half your shit taken. It means for men losing access to your child. It means for men losing years out on their life because they did what they thought was right and or accurate and got punished for it. All of this literally was flipping through my head as I'm looking at him, whistle and look away. And when I turned back to her, she said to me, you should be conducting yourself this way on your particular platform, and began to name all of these different things that my platform should be about. And I said, listen, ma'am, it is ironic as hell that you call me narcissistic for having an opinion about modern society today, yet you are so narcissistic to think that I should change my platform in accordance to what you think. This is why it's so important for men to have male spaces. It's damn near a requirement at this point. There's too many young men out there that are going into these relationships misinformed or ill-informed, that are getting into relationships with women that do not deserve the dirt that they stand on. And also having male spaces, it's a huge benefit for women to be a silent watcher, a silent listener. Because see, someone like her would have benefited in understanding that men thrive off of status. We thrive off of power, and we are competitive as hell for it, as well as our respect. And one of the biggest ways that you can disrespect a man is to disrespect his friend. It's to disrespect his boys. Think about it from a status perspective. And shout out to Andrew Tate, because I heard him articulate it the best way that I've heard it yet. And a woman that helps a man derive his status is a woman that respects his boys. It's the woman where you're coming back home from the club and she has a meal ready for you and your boys when y'all enter in the door. So the boys look at you like, goddamn, you're the man, because look at what your beautiful woman is doing for you and all of us. She is a goddamn keeper. But the modern woman today has been conditioned into being competitive with men, has been conditioned to not let men be men and to define what a real man is, or what a male podcast or a male platform should be about. You see, men don't care about women's spaces. Y'all have y'all talk shows. Y'all have y'all Ricky Lakes. Y'all have y'all Rolandas. Y'all have y'all Oprahs. Y'all have y'all Lifetimes. We don't care. Have y'all shit. But we got a little space where men talk about men shit. None of that fluffy relationship bullshit, heartstrings, soft ass music in the background, which men have been creating for decades, but it's for your eyes. Men have just been tricked into watching that dumbass shit. But now we have something for us. And now we're supposed to change and conform to the way that y'all view world and the way that y'all view life, the way that y'all view relationships. It's completely and utterly absurd. But see, it's been deep rooted within her to do the exact opposite. And she has a load of education within her past, master's degrees, yada, yada, yada. And within that, she's been taught that she is oppressed. So if she hears anything that points out the wickedness of some of these modern women today, she's going to defend, even if there's not a rational, practical reason to defend. And even if that defense is within direct disrespect to her husband's boy. Whatever happened to the days of women being feminine and polite and a good representation of their families and of their husbands? But now today, they use their education, they use the amount of money that they make, and they use this veil of a patriarchy in order to subdue you while inflicting tyranny and terrorism onto the person that married them. But see, this is what happens when you give one gender the mic for decades. So again, men, keep locked to channels just like this one right here, because we don't allow them to control the mic over here. And I'll be for damn if on my watch we allow them to control the relationship narrative going into the future. Because guess what's happened? When they've controlled the relationship narrative, look what's happening to these kids nowadays. Look what's happening to families nowadays. Look what's happening to the marriage rate nowadays. And look what's happening to the divorce rate. So no matter how much sign language that they use to try to manipulate a particular situation, gentlemen, hear me when I say this. Hold the line.
Guys, he say hold the line. Hold the line, black man. Hold the line. But guys, so he went over a lot of information just then. So why do we have male-led podcasts? To combat modern feminism. For men to control their own narrative and have their own viewpoints. Not be controlled by some puppet that the Jewish community media runs and tell them what to say and how to say it and how to deliver a message to black people. Men are tired of letting everyone else control their narrative and talk about the things that they want to talk about. We're going to speak about the things that we want to speak about live on camera, and we're going to tell it to you guys whether you like it or not. So we're tired of the puppets. We're tired of the TV talk shows. We're tired of all that. We have our own space. We have our own voice, and we're going to speak what we want to talk about and make our points on what we want to speak on. We have a right to do that. Our opinion matters, whether people like it or not, because we have the right to have a voice and a say in the way society should be ran, especially dealing with our own kind. Yeah, we got a right to say, because we are black men, the most hated man on the planet. Anytime we do something, it makes it big globally. That's right. Y'all see it. The Osterholming dude down in Brazil. He made a post. He made a YouTube video saying this. Got his behind out of Brazil because he's a black man. There been anybody else that been doing this stuff for years, they don't say nothing. They just get brushed right up under the rug. You know what I'm saying? But men are big competitors. We just love to compete. So one thing about men, we gonna compete. We sat around and watched this shit happen for years and years and years. Now it's time for us to get into space and compete for our own narrative and our own views and the way we should be viewed as a people moving forward, and our relationships as we move forward. Why shouldn't we have a voice? Why shouldn't we? And guys, when speaking to these women about these types of conversations, you're not going, like you said, you're not going to get a rational thought or logical mindset. Stop having these conversations with certain women. If they can't speak and control themselves while speaking on this subject, don't have this conversation. Just kind of like go on to a different topic, something y'all can have, find a common bond in, because having these conversations with women, it's not a good thing unless you have a podcast and you can monetize it at that point. But I don't see no point on going on a date and talking about these type of things. Don't do it, guys. It's not a productive thing if you're trying to get to know a person. It'd be counterproductive. Just ask a few questions to see what kind of where her head is, as far as like what type of woman she is and what are her ethics and what are her morals, what kind of morals she stand on, what kind of standards she have for herself. Now, those are the things you need to be looking for while dating. Do not have this conversation about male topics, because they're not understanding. They are a modern woman. They have been fed the feminist lie. They've been given the feminist disease. Sorry to say it, ladies, but we're trying to rid you of that disease so you can become a more feminine woman, become the woman that you should be. But this is a lot been covered in this, man. We're trying to reverse this narrative, man, and put forth a system in place that works and that will carry us into the future together. That's what we're trying to do here. But what are y'all thoughts about what he said? Leave them down in the comment section. Okay? Make sure you like and subscribe to this video. Okay? I am your host, Millionaire Trader Alex Jenkins, and we about to jump on out of here.